What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hope Shot. Man, I hope you guys are having a great weekend because it is over. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but it's over. It's over. It seems like it comes and goes so quick. We need a 3-dayer. And I think that needs to be a 3-day weekend needs to start being like mandatory, and then we just get an extra one for the holidays. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it flies by.
It does. It does. And it's usually a Monday that you get the holiday on. So we need to start doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like all the time, like consistently. And then we get that Monday for Martin Luther King Day or President's Day, even though we don't get it off, but it sounds good, you know. What's up,
I'm
Christina? How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We had a weekend out at the Saddlebrook Resort. George did his Grand Fondo 100-mile race today. He signed up for it when he's literally has never done anything like that ever in his life. Well, we went out there Saturday, and so today we came back a little early because I got to take the dog to get fixed early in the morning. So I was like, let's just go home tonight and not have to drive back early in the morning because then I have to drive to Hillsboro.
Yeah.
So like today, I'm glad that I can make those realistic choices and be like, come on, you're not a morning person. Let's be real.
Let's keep it
Let's
real.
be
You know what
real.
I mean? If you guys just jumping on, say what's up. Let us know you're here. We got a great story tonight, and I'm gonna let Christina first read a clarity statement.
Yes. So the Hope
She loves
Shot
that
Clarity
thing.
Statement. We here at the Hope Shot are a group of people in recovery spreading inspiration. We come from all different walks of life and pathways of recovery. Our verbiage may be different at times, but we all have one thing in common: recovery as a lifestyle. We support all pathways of recovery. It doesn't matter how you get from A to Z, just get there. Thank you for being part of our Hope Shot family, the Hope Shot.
Thanks, Christina. Appreciate it. All right, we got Kristen. What's up, Kristen? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. We got Sky. Good to see you. Everybody else is just shy. It's okay, man. I know it's late. It's the end of the weekend. Everybody's coming to a realization. It's probably because I just said it, and they're probably like, "Hell no, he did not just say that." It really is Sunday, man. What happened? Where did time go? Um, Nobody wants to say hi, but it's okay. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. I'm just gonna we're gonna kick this off. We got Ashley. Ashley's been I think it's been over a year now, right? You got a year and change, but she's gonna let you know. But she's deep in this recovery community, man. It's just a light. Anytime you see her, she's just a ball of energy, and she's just always happy, always smiling, no matter what. And that's what I love about her. Always smiling. I'm gonna let her tell her story. So here's Ashley. What's
Hi
up, Ashley?
guys.
Hi, Ashley.
How's it going?
It's going. It's going.
Going good. Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
All right. The floor is yours, Ashley.
So I can't hear a word Justin's saying.
Oh,
Me? No? Oh, that sucks. It's okay. Kick it off.
the floor is yours, he said.
Okay.
Here's my translator. I don't know what's going
So hey
on.
everybody, I'm Ashley if you don't know me. The best way that I know how to do this is, what it was like, what happened and what it's like now. So I grew up in Florida. I'm a Florida native, lived here my whole life. I don't have very many memories of my childhood. My father was an alcoholic. My mother worked really hard. Parents ended up getting divorced, so me and my brother and sister all lived with my mom. She wasn't home very much because she was working all the time. I killed it in school. I mean, I was always a straight A student. Went to all the Tarpon schools, Tarpon Elementary, Tarpon Middle, Tarpon High. And when I got to Tarpon High, they had the vet assisting program. So I started right up in that because animals have always been and will always be my life. I'm a huge horse lover. I've worked with horses for 20 years. So that was really wonderful for me. I think I'd found a stable down the road from our house, a horse stable, and I'd put in so many volunteer hours within the first 4 months that I'd completed all the requirements for the program at the high school. So anything after that was just fun for me. So my first 3 years of high school, I spent just doing my schoolwork, traveling to horse shows. I wake up, go to school, go to the barn, come home. So that was really happy times of my life. And then my high school year happened, and I had a boy across the street that I was interested in, and I started getting involved with the wrong kind of guys. My father moved out of the house pretty early on, so I don't really think I had like a positive male role model in my life. So I didn't have anybody to tell me like the people I was hanging out with weren't the right kind of people. So the guy that I got involved with ended up like mentally, physically, and sexually abusing me pretty hard. And I was 17 at the time. I was terrified to tell anybody. Like, I knew it was wrong, but I was just terrified to tell anybody. So I kept it to myself. I ended up failing my first semester of my senior year. So after that guy got out of my life, I worked really hard my second semester, and I made up the entire first semester along with completing my second semester. So I picked myself up pretty good after that. Ended up graduating with honors, and I went to a private equestrian school in North Carolina. But when I got there, I was drinking all the time, partying. And I don't know if you know much about horse people, but they tend to be a little prissy. The girls are all super skinny and they have a lot of money, and that just wasn't who I was. So I wasn't fitting in with anybody. I was partying all the time, failed all my classes, and I ended up coming back to Florida. So when I got back here, I'll be honest, it was just a lot of the same story, getting involved with guys who weren't any good for me. Moving in with them. But my mother, bless her soul, she was always there for me. She always let me come back home when I'd move out and go with some guy and go on a run or something. And, she'd always let me come back home. So that was a good like security nest egg for me. And, I did that for a long time. And then my dad I ended up finding my dad. He passed away, and I found him in his apartment when I was 22. I never processed that fully. So I just kind of pushed that down, started drinking a lot, partying, just drinking and partying and boys. That was a lot of my life that was the first part of my life. Um, so let's see where it really takes off, I guess. Um, so I have a 4-year-old son who I don't have custody of. And his father is kind of where like the hardcore stuff started coming in at. When I first met him, I just thought he was the most beautiful thing in the world. And he was a drug dealer, so I was fitting in with that crowd. I was doing things I didn't normally do. I was buying drugs just to see him. So it kind of just went downhill from there. And then, let's see, I would say when I was like 23 or 24, I got my first DUI. And that was, on St. Patrick's Day. My own holiday betrayed me, right? Because I'm Irish. So, if I was on St. Patrick's Day, and I was with that guy. And when I got arrested that night, I ended up finding out that I was pregnant, and at the jail, and I got released the next day, told him that I was pregnant, and he screamed at me and was like, if you don't get rid of that baby, like, I'm leaving you, this, that, and the other thing. And I was young and I didn't want him to leave me. So I ended up getting an abortion. And that was really hard for me because I like to believe that that wasn't something that I wanted to do. I just didn't know any other way. I was really young, so that was hard for me. And I stayed with him for a long time. And let's see, my mom, I'm gonna talk about my mom for a minute. My mom passed away 4 years ago. So when that happened, uh, I lost it. My mom was my rock. And when I didn't have her anymore to go home to when something was wrong, I mean, I was just like a lost puppy. You know, I didn't have anywhere to go. I was always in whatever relationship was in, I was always the one working. I was always the one supporting things. Um, but you guys know how that's not sustainable when you're living the kind of lives that we live. So after my mom passed away, that's when like the really heavy drug use started. I got into pills, um, smoking a lot of dope, just living a crazy lifestyle. And then not long after my mom passed away, I got pregnant with my son. And I felt like, and I'm not going to say I believed in God at the time, but whatever I did believe in, I felt like that was his way of opening a door for me. You know, like one door closes, another one opens. I might have lost my mom, but hey, here's this baby to kind of give you happiness. And I got semi clean. I was still doing like mat treatment while I was pregnant. I was on Suboxone and stuff, but I was off the pills. And you know, the guy, his father, kind of cleaned himself up for a little while. The time that I was pregnant was all right. I'm not going to say it was perfect, but it was all right. We got our own house. We were both working jobs. Everything was okay. And after I gave birth to him, I got prescribed some pain medication because I had an emergency C-section. So that's kind of where it all started again, because my partner was wanting to take the pills as well, and I was running out. They only prescribe you a certain amount. So I was running out of the medication, started needing heavier stuff again, and it just, I won't get into too much details, right? But it just goes pretty quickly downhill after that. So his father was on probation. His father was on probation for a charge, and he peed dirty at one of his probation meetings and got arrested. So you've got me, and at that point, I didn't have a job anymore. Because once the drug use started, he just became like a horrible person as well. So he wasn't taking care of my son while I was at work. So he had threatened me one day. He was like, if you don't give me all of your money from your paycheck for drugs, like this is how I'm going to drive around with our son all day. And he sent me a picture of my kid crying in the back seat. So I immediately walked out of my job and I never went back. So we were, you know, selling dope, doing that kind of thing to support ourselves and our habits. But once he got arrested, he was doing the majority of that. Once he got arrested, it was up to me. And I had went to go meet a friend who I'd known for 10 years to sell him some stuff, and ended up overdosing. I had my son with me. So he ended up overdosing, and I Narcaned him twice, called the paramedics, and I left. The next day, the cops and DCF showed up at my door. I didn't answer it because I was terrified. I thought he died. I thought that I was going to prison for murder, you know. Um, so I just kind of let them knock and knock and knock, and me and my son just hid, and he was quiet, and I was like, thank you, Jesus. Um, but the next day, DCF came back. So, and at that point, I had heard from the guy who'd overdosed, and he was okay. So I answered the door. By that time, I had also had my sister bring me some of her pee so that when they came back, I could use that to do their pee test with. Obviously, we know they're smarter than we are. So they said that it didn't temperature right and I needed to do it again. And at that point, it was like, well, I guess it's time to get honest. And, you know, I told them what I was going through. I told them what I was on. And they took my son from me that day. Um, when I thought I knew what real pain was when my mom died, having your son ripped out of your arms is inexplainable. The pain that I felt when that happened was inexplainable, and it really just completely broke me at that point. So I just gave up. You know, I could have went one way. I could have taken the suggestions, done the support programs that were available to me. I tried it, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't break out of, I couldn't see past what was in front of me. So I ended up moving in, who is well, now he's my daughter's father, but I ended up moving him into my house because I needed to sustain my habit and I didn't have any money, and he was the dealer. So I moved him into my house and we just kind of made an exchange there. He helped me get off of the fentanyl that I was on. So I've been clean from fentanyl for a little over 3 years. But then he introduced me to the needle. So that was, for me at the time, the solution to all of my problems. I didn't want to feel anything. I didn't want to face anything. I just wanted to be completely numb. I didn't really want to live anymore. So, I ended up just completely, I had a case plan with DCF for my son, but at that time, I stopped contacting everybody. I just kind of took off and did what I was doing. Um, And then about 6 months after that, I got arrested with my boyfriend at the time. So we got arrested, and it's going to sound so strange, right? But even though I was locked up, it was the first time that I felt free in a very long time. In a very long time, once the detox kind of wore off and I just kind of got back to the normal routine. I was eating healthy again. I was waking up. I was working in Pasco County. I felt free, and I had it in my head that me and my boyfriend were going to get clean. We were going to get our kids back, this, that, and the other thing. The only two books that I read when I was in jail were the Narcotics Anonymous book and what was it called? How to Deal with Your Emotional Baggage. So those were the two books that I read when I was in jail. And I would write, my boyfriend letters every day, like, oh, it's going to be so wonderful. We're going to be clean when we get out. I did, this, that, and the other thing. So I was putting a lot of eggs in one basket there. And I ended up doing 6 months in jail on a possession of paraphernalia charge. So, but I'll be honest, it was the best 6 months of my life. I got introduced to my higher power. I found like the Christian rap music that I really love to listen to. So I was, like I said, it was the best time. I felt so free for those 6 months that I was in jail. And then when I got out, reality set in again, right? Because the guy that I was with just went right back to the same stuff that we were doing. He had moved in with some other girl, didn't even want to see me. So that crushed me again. And I relapsed pretty hard. For a week. And I like to tell this story because I think it's really cool, just how far that my higher power, which is God, just how far he was willing to go to pull me to, like, he goes after the one, he leaves the 99 to go after the one, right? So I was in this trap house, and I'm sorry if am I allowed to get a little graphic? Okay. So I was in this trap house and I was trying to hit myself and I couldn't because I was so dehydrated. So I was in the bathroom, there's blood coming down my arms. And for some reason, I looked up at myself in the mirror and I just saw who I was and I just started crying. I was like, please, God, like if you're out there, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be this person, but I need help. And I kid you not, the power in the house went off. The power in the house went off, and something pulled me from that house. I know this is going to sound pretty crazy, but it's unexplainable. I followed the wind. Different animals would come up to me, and I'd follow them for a little bit. And I walked from Moog Road to Trouble Creek in Madison, and just following these animals and following the wind and just different feelings inside that I had. And I got to this parking lot, and there was this street light, and it was the brightest light that I'd ever seen in my entire life. And when I got underneath that light, everything around me just felt peaceful. I felt calm. I didn't feel like I was being pulled anywhere or that I was meant to follow anything anymore. I just felt peace. And I didn't really understand it in the moment because it's like 3 a.m. and I'm walking around probably looking like a crazy person. The next day, I went to my boyfriend's mother's house, and I knew she worked for Baycare, in her previous years. So I went to her house and she took me to detox. So I detoxed at Baycare for 3 days. And after that, I went into their CRC residential inpatient program. Um, and wouldn't you know, the building that street lamp was in is the CRC inpatient treatment program's parking lot. So it's just like these little things that happened along the way are just so wonderful. And it's just crazy. But so I stayed there for 3 months. I unpacked a lot. It was hard. I don't know if any of you guys have been to inpatient treatment, but inpatient treatment's hard. All the rules and everything, living with these people, and I was still not fully surrendered yet. So I was just like, I'm just here because I'm homeless and I need somewhere to live. So I started let resentments and harms and fears come back on the scene, and I ended up leaving there after 3 months. But I don't regret it at all because I let a lot of stuff go there. So, and I also, if I didn't leave there, I don't think I would have had my daughter either. So, I ended up leaving there and getting back with that guy who I was with when I got arrested, my daughter's father. So we got back together. And just started doing the same stuff. Just started using again and just going hardcore. I ended up getting pregnant, and uh, I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop using. I really wanted to. I had a lot of guilt and shame for the things that I was doing when I was pregnant. And towards the end of my pregnancy, he ended up leaving me again. So I am homeless. I have nothing. I literally have nothing. And I was going to have to give my daughter up for adoption. So I ended up going into labor in a hotel out in Hudson. And I was terrified too. Like, I knew I was in labor, but I wouldn't go. So my aunt ended up having to call like the hotel security and have them call 911 to come and get me because I wouldn't go. I knew it was coming. I knew I was going to lose another kid. I knew what happened to me when I lost my son. And I just couldn't handle it again, so I was just trying to run from it. And we got to the hospital. It was another emergency C-section. She was born a month premature. And in between the time of like my C-section, and I couldn't meet her for 24 hours after that because she had some work she needed done on her, and I was getting, recovering from the surgery. So within that 24 hours, the hospital sends in social workers, they send in adoption agencies and things like that when you're thinking about giving your child up for adoption. That's what they do, and it is what it is, right? So I had found an adoption agency that I wanted to work with. They came, showed me a bunch of videos that made me cry because these couples, just like in their videos, they look like they just love each other so much and like the perfect family for a kid to be in, and I just didn't have that. So I picked a family. They lived in Georgia, and they actually were on a flight out to me. So after that 24 hours was over and they asked me if I wanted to meet her, I said yes. And thank God that I did, because as I was walking to the NICU at Trinity Hospital, like, I could feel her before, like, I got into the room. So I didn't even need anybody to show me where she was. I just walked right to her crib that was in the NICU. And as I was walking there to her, I just remember praying to God at that point. Whatever God I thought I believed in, I was like, please, God, like, I can't do this again. Like, please help me. I don't want to lose another kid. And as soon as I had that thought, there was a woman across from me. Her name is Brenda, and she spoke up and she was like, Ashley, you don't have to do this. Like, there's another way. And, like that radical change that they talk about that you need to experience in order to succeed and recover. Like, that was it for me. Like, that moment, whatever doubts that I had in God, whatever I was thinking was completely vanished at that point. I was so washed clean in that moment. I immediately called off the adoption, which they were a little upset about, but that's okay. It's my right. So I called off the adoption. DCF came within like a few hours. And he was like, you know, they were already kind of skeptical with me because I had already lost parental rights on my son, like not even a year prior to this happening. So when the DCF worker got there, he was like, you have to have everything you need for her within the next 8 hours. And I freaked out. I was like, are you kidding me? I can't have everything I need for her in 8 hours. Well, you know, this God save of a woman, Brenda, she connected me with an organization called Saving Our Sisters. So I called them, and I don't know, maybe within 2 hours, I think I had everything that I needed for her. So they really came through for me. And we went ahead with the DCF case. I think by my first court, well, hold on, let me back up a second, because this happened during the hurricane. So when they put my daughter into foster placement, I was there, but my lawyer was not. So when that happened, Brenda was just like a little like, she was like, no, this isn't going down like that. So we got my lawyer involved. We called for like a reset of the foster placement hearing, and my daughter went with Brenda. So, I mean, like, this lady didn't know me she didn't know me. You know what I'm saying? All that I appeared to her was a drug addict off the street who didn't have anything for myself, who used my entire pregnancy. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what I would have done without Brenda. I love her more than words can say. God sent her to me. My mother sent her to me. So she ended up taking my daughter. And like, let's not forget, she could have gotten fired for this, right? Like, she works for the hospital. So she could have gotten fired for this, and she risked everything for me and my daughter, Eleni. So she took Eleni for me. I ended up going with her in-laws. So their whole family just took me in and helped me and cradled me during those first few months. And then, let's see, maybe like 2 months after that, I got into sober living. By my second court date, I had, because, you know, pretty much knew what my case plan would be: stable housing, stable income, parenting classes, things like that. So I made sure that I was enrolled in all the programs that I needed to be enrolled in before they even told me to do it. Like, I was ready. I was ready. I was ready this time. So my DCF case with her went from a expedited termination of parental rights to a reunification case within like the first month. Actually, the state attorney came down and shook my hand because he was like, you know, I had a lot of people call me about you and ask me to give you a second chance. And he was like, just don't let me down. And I was like, yes, sir. So, I mean, I completed my case plan for her within 8 months. I think it was like 8 months. My recovery was a little accelerated, right? Because I needed to get things done. I got into sober living, saved what I could, got my own apartment, this, that, and the other thing, so that I could complete my case plan. Got reunified with her within 8 months. So that's pretty much what happened, and what life is like now, right? Like a life beyond my wildest dreams. Me and my daughter have our apartment. I work full time. I just started going back to school. I really want to get my bachelor's in social work because I want to do something along the lines of helping women who were in similar situations as mine. Just the difference that it can make to someone when you offer them support instead of like condemnation or something. You know, I have a lot of opinions about the adoption industry, which I won't get into, but it's amazing what a difference it can make in a mother's life when you give her the opportunity to parent instead of just push her to the side so that her baby can be taken away. So that's what life is like now. You know, we just went to the beach today. I'm so sunburned. I can feel it everywhere. But life is beautiful, and I continue to enlarge my spiritual life. One thing I was always really good at my entire life was picking the pieces up after I had completely destroyed everything. But I could never sustain it because I was always missing something. And that something for me was this program and my higher power and the support system that I have now. And I'm just so beyond blessed and grateful, and it's a beautiful life.
Wow.
Awesome. Can you hear me now?
Can
I
you hear
still can't hear you,
Justin?
Justin.
What the hell? He's just blocking me out. Like I'm just. Can you hear me, Christina?
Hear you, but like when she was talking, she was going a little blurry, so I don't know if it's her connection or what. I can hear you. I can hear her.
Oh.
What a
I can hear
powerful story.
you.
She can hear me. I guess I'm the only
Well,
one that matters. Maybe you're
it's the
just supposed to
Christina show
listen.
now. It's Christina's show. Christina, take it
Uh,
away.
oh my gosh. Listen, what a powerful story, Ashley. I
Thank you.
love I love your awareness for those pivotal moments of divine intervention, because for those that have never experienced it, they will never understand. But for those of us that have, like, it's an undeniable feeling, right? And I have a very similar story to where, like, when I needed God, He showed up for me. And be quiet. And in my story too, the opposite happened for me. I did give a baby up for adoption.
Yeah.
And I had this. I love that you talked about the shame and guilt of that vicious cycle, because I too, after my children were taken from me and I lived out on the street, I just could not come to terms with me being an addict, and I ended up getting pregnant from a result of somebody forcing themselves on me. And it was just
Yeah.
a vicious cycle of like using to forget, and then continuing to use because I couldn't stop using, and I was pregnant, and the guilt and shame and the guilt and shame, and just like wanting to stop, and I just could not stop. And it was just so different from my other pregnancies, because with my other pregnancies, like, I was able to put stuff down, right? I was able to, and this time I just was not able to.
Yeah.
And I remember having a similar conversation with my higher power, and just like, give me the strength to give this baby up for adoption, but don't let it be in vain. Let me get my other kids back. You know what I mean?
Right.
And for me, I have an open adoption, and for me, that was but I'm so glad that in that moment you were able to, like, reach out to your higher power, know that he was answering you, and being able to advocate for yourself, and it all work out the way that it did, right? Because, like, I have things that happen in my life where I have peace and know that what my decision was right, and you get to have peace in knowing that you made the right decision too.
Yeah.
And, like, I'll tell you what, like, following the wind and the animals, most people would look at you like you're crazy, but I was just like, yes, you know what I mean? Like, I've been in those experiences where like, God showed up for me, right? And it's so powerful, and it just it makes that gratitude for this life and this recovery, like, mean so much more. And I'm so grateful that you got so raw and shared all of that, because, and I always, like, it's always blows my mind when people start talking and they start sharing their stories, and, like, the shit that we've endured and gone through. You know what I mean? It's not just like, oh yeah, we're just a junkie that threw our life away and we're selfish. And no, it's like, life fucking showed up, right? And we were just smacked left and right with it. And we didn't know how to deal with it, right? We didn't know how to deal with it. We used drugs and substances to get through. And you know what I mean? Once, it's just a slippery freaking slope, right? It's a slippery freaking slope. And relationships are a big deal too, especially when it comes to women, because we get in these relationships with this man, and it's vice versa too. There's plenty of men that got with toxic women, and there's plenty of women that got with toxic men, and we're
Right.
toxic for each other, right? But it's just, it makes it so much harder when it's like a relationship dynamic, right? And you guys both want to get clean, but at the same time you're both addicted, right? So it's like if both of you aren't getting clean and one's still using and one's wanting to get clean, then it's not ever going to work. It's just not ever going to work. And I'm so grateful for your story. I've known you for a minute, and I remember like when you started bringing the baby around, and I haven't seen you in a minute, but I never knew that part of your story. And oh my gosh, you have to tell it more often because it's so powerful. It is so powerful. And I mean, it's just the true definition of like, because same thing for me. Like I stayed out on the street for a year and a half. My kids were in foster care for a year and 8 months until I got them back. But I stayed out in the streets denying that I had an issue for almost a year. And by the time I was able to get fucking honest and start like saying, no, I'm an addict, and taking the classes and all that stuff, I think I had the baby March 2nd and I had my kids back by November 1st. So same thing. I had to move my case plan quickly too, because, I had to get my kids back. And, it's just, your stories are my favorite stories. So thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
Oh,
You're welcome.
It gave me goosebumps. I was started to cry and everything. I was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, those really impactful God moments are wonderful. And then it's really cool, right? Because once you're aware to those sort of things, the hindsight is so cool too, because I see where he was all over my life, my entire life.
Yep.
And the things that he blocked me from, and the relationships that he blocked me from or removed me from or had them leave me and take me out of are such blessings, because my daughter's father is doing 7 years in prison for trafficking fentanyl. And I could have very easily been in the same kind of situation. I could have very easily have killed that guy that overdosed and been in a very different situation right now. So I'm just very grateful. My higher power knows my heart and forgave me for the things that I was going through and taught me how to forgive myself. The programs that I'm in, BNG, the Hope Shot helps me a lot too in the beginning. I love you guys, and I'm so grateful. Bake Care, everything that I fought so hard in my first case plan against, I just completely surrendered to this time, and was like, maybe I am the problem.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sign language to you. I don't know how to make this work, but can you hear me now?
She can't hear you.
No, still not.
You can't hear him either?
I can hear him.
I wish it was faster with silent with like A. Not that fast.
She'll have to go back and listen to it afterwards.
I will.
Can you hear her?
Yes.
Okay.
This is what's crazy. This is
So
wild.
weird.
What's going on right now? I'm gonna tell. Hey, Christina, can you tell? We're gonna get those cups. Well, I just want to say that I'm super proud of you, Ashley. Even though you can't hear me, you're gonna have to come back and see this because it's like a mystery right now for you. And boy, person with control issues would really be off right now. But I'm super proud of you, and yeah, man, it takes everybody, like, takes so many avenues to be able to get a person whole, and it's cool to watch you, have your daughter with you, get things back. That's what I love. I love the get things back saga of our recovery, and we're starting to raise our kids and then become the humans that we're supposed to be all along. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet so she doesn't listen long. Hey, you want to read some comments? Because it doesn't matter if I do.
Yeah, I'll read some comments.
Can you see him? Is yours big?
Actually, he said he's super proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you're talking about getting these things back. That's what it's all about. Getting these gifts of recovery, getting things back that we lost, tenfold and stuff. We're gonna read some comments.
Okay.
Can you see the comments, Christina?
Oh, do you want me to pull them up? Let me see.
Yeah.
Wait, where am I at?
You can see the comments, can't you?
Can I?
I don't know.
I don't think I can.
You can. Go over there to the...
Oh, let me get off my... Wait. So now...
We're doing great. I'm telling you. We are killing it. All right?
Listen, I don't think I can see the comments. I can't see them. Let me see. Oh, comments. Yeah. Okay. Woo, this is my
You
first
go,
time.
girl.
We get
Alright,
you getting it.
okay,
Look at her
we
go.
got So, is there a way for me to pull them up, or do I just read them?
Yeah, you can pull them up. Go over here to this little. Hold on. No, you should be able to click on them. Wait, hold on. Now I'm all messed up. Comments. If you click on it like this. You know.
All right. Melissa Witherspoon says, "So proud of you, Ashley." Tiffany says, "Justin, we can hear you." Tiffany
Oh.
says, all I ever experienced was your light and joy when you found these rooms. The blessing you brought our community by being part of is so special. We love you. I praise God for his wrapping his arms around you through all of this. Amen.
I love you.
And
Amen.
she also said,
I never knew your story. I also cried many times hearing it. Campbell, oh, are you doing it, Justin?
yeah. Are you? I didn't know if you had. Do you have the option to put them up?
I don't know. I thought I was doing it the whole time. That's me. That's you. Sky says, "Damn, girl, way to take the program serious and do the dang thing. Grateful you are around."
All right.
Thank
Try
you.
to click the comment.
Let me go up here. Nope, I can't.
Okay, so you need me.
Rachel,
Somebody
pull
needs
up,
me
you
around
read 'em.
here.
Rachel,
I'm back, baby.
Rachel Brockhouse says, "So incredibly
Oh.
proud of you."
Where we at? Hold on.
Who'd you pull up, Justin? Tamika? Oh, yeah, she
There we
says,
go.
"So incredibly proud of you."
I love her. Rachel is wonderful. She is a huge
Listen,
part of my story as well.
Me
Huge
too.
part
Me
of my
too.
story.
Me
I don't
too.
think I would have gotten back into the Baycare Fit program if it wasn't for her, because I definitely dishonorably got discharged the first time.
Listen, I still reach out to Rachel today. So now that
Yes.
my teenagers are growing up, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to catch another case.
I know. She already knows I'm coming to work for her when I get my degree. So
There you
No,
go. There's
Baycare
full
Fit
circle.
was a huge,
Yes.
huge resource for me too. And yeah, and it's grateful that that we got to be their success stories, because they go through a lot of cases where people just aren't ready and they can't get it together, and they got to
Mhm.
take a couple L's before they get to a success story. So
Yeah.
it's just
I wrote a rap song for them based off
Did you?
off the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and I rapped it for one of their one of their annual reviews or something. The lady that comes down to reviews them and sees how their program is doing, if it's helping people. Yeah, I rapped for her. So
Can Christina, can we get a little preview of this, or is that out of the question? I'm my translator over there.
He wants you to rap.
you want me to rap?
You got that song?
You want me to do the Baycare rap?
Yes, please.
Okay, let me see if I can remember everything. All right.
This is gonna be great.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down. Well, I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how my life was saved by a place called Baycare. Florida State native, I was born and raised on the horse farmers where I spent most of my days. Something went wrong, boys began to look cool, and then I started to do drugs and dropped out of school. Then the worst guy of all, who was up to no good, started making trouble in my neighborhood. I overdosed a few times and my family got scared. They said, "Please save your life and check into Baycare." I went to CRC but didn't stay there, and I thought, man, wait. A reservation crept in and TPR was near. Resentments creeped in and I got scared, so I thought, man, forget it, and left Baycare. What was the rest of that song? Had a baby and got clean on September 28th, and I yelled to my baby daddy, "Yo, home, smell you later." Made some major life changes. I was finally there and ready to get saved by a place called Baycare.
Oh my god, that is the best. I do so many. Can you translate that to her?
And mind you, this woman that I'm doing this for is like a prim and proper woman. She's in a suit, and I'm just like freestyle rapping for her. She hugged me so hard at the end of that, and she's like, "This is the best interview that I've done in 17 years.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that was really good.
You could probably get a job with that.
Rachel Keegan also says, "Hey, Ashley, so freaking proud of you. Raylan says you're amazing. Love you, girl. Ito says I'm proud of you, sis. You better tell your story, girl.
I'm going back up.
Ito's a huge part of my story as well. His program that he has there at B&G, that place saved my life, changed my life. It was definitely what I needed. You know, the first time I walked into that meeting and they were blasting that Christian rap music that I found when I was in jail, like I knew I was home because I'd never heard it anywhere else before in my life. And I walked into that meeting and they're just bumping and chilling, and I'm like, this is it. I found my home.
Found my
Yeah,
tribe.
he's doing
Hell yeah.
amazing things over there. He
Yes.
is. He's
All right. Well, what else you got? You want to read some more?
yeah.
The bottom
we got
ones?
Jamie Kaiser says, "Hey family, hey Ashley." Jamie Kaiser says, "What a beautiful, inspirational story, woman."
Thank you.
Yeah. Brian says, incredibly, I am incredible. I am proud of you, beautiful story. And I was at Baycare myself back in September for 3 days. Tiffany, thank you so much for sharing your story. You are truly inspirational.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Tamika, I'm so proud of you. Ash, such a powerful story. It really is. That story is so powerful. You know, and you're going to help other people. I know that there was a girl at the meetings that when I was sharing my story of giving a baby up for adoption, it gave her the strength to give her baby up for adoption. And you'll be able to help somebody too who's kind of on the fence, that will get the strength to maybe to not give the baby up for adoption, to keep the baby, knowing that she can do it, you know?
Right.
Can.
Right. And I want to disclaimer that, right? Like, I don't have anything against people who need to give their babies up for adoption. I just feel strongly about giving a woman the opportunity and giving them the information that they need to know that there is another way.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. Gosh, what a powerful story.
thank you.
Oh.
Well, I think that's it for today. For tonight, I should say. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. Ashley cannot hear me at this moment, so it's like I'm just spitting off I'm just lip singing over
Wrapping
here.
it up.
I'm just wrapping it up.
Yeah. He said, "Thank you so much for being here." So yeah, if you probably
Yeah.
go back and listen to it after,
Yes.
you'll be able to hear what he said.
Yeah. It's just
Hindsight.
weird. Hey, thank you all so much for being here in the comments. Thank you, Christina, for being here in real life and doing the comments all weird and stuff, like doing this. But I'm gonna figure that out this week, right? Oh no, you're not gonna be here. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm
Next
in training.
week. I know. Hey man, thank you all for being here. Hey, if you guys want to share your story, okay, hit us up. Hit Christina up. You want to talk to me? Talk to Christina. Probably talk to Christina. Actually, that'd be way better. Message Christina, talk to her about sharing your story. We want to hear you. We want to get your story out there. You never know who your story could change, or maybe it's sitting on the fence somewhere and just waiting for something to push them over. So that could be you. So you can't keep what you have unless you give it away. Let's go. Hit Christina up, and we'll see you guys next week. Love y'all, man.
Bye, guys. Say bye, Ashley.
Oh, look,
Bye.